Hello and welcome back. Share, like, subscribe, all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. Today's episode is on nut MacGyvering. We were going to replace it, but as you will see, that didn't turn out very well. Sorry about the bad editing. I'm working on it. Our nut cut real bad. Right here when your old D and your old G string go. Cut bad. So I went and got everything I was going to need to replace that nut. 2 blank bone blocks that we've already started sanding down. One, we've got it into a rough shape, but we've come to the point where we realize we're going to need math to do this because it's not just put it up, cut it. So it's going to take a little while for me to figure all that out, get the proper tools. I still need some more nut files, but until then we want to be able to play this because it's going to be maybe a month and a half before we get this done. We don't want to do it half-assed. We're going to do it right. So we are going to see if we can red green this here. Of course, we just restrung it. That's how we found out that we had bad nut. So we want to save these strings. So what we've done is we've loosened them all off drastically. And we're going to get our rope, pull it up from the bottom beside each tree. And then we can get them out of the way so we can work on the nut. Created a dam on either side of the nut. But I took a picture to try and edit it for a close-up. Trigger warning. So this is guaranteed to bring out the inner dentist in me. So we're going to take a little straight blade screwdriver, some of our nut dust, and just fill in those grooves that we think have too deep a cut. We're going to make sure that these grooves are filled in properly. Long, drawn out process. Do you feel the tension? So what I'm going to do is put a couple of drops of the crazy glue on this piece of paper. And then take this here toothpick, get just enough of it to try and have it drop on there. Come on. There we go. Gotta be careful. Don't do too much. Trying to resist the urge. Just take that tube and put a big drop on every one of these. That's probably what I'm going to end up doing, isn't it? May as well just go to it. Go the full red green. Just stuck myself to my own pants. Now I just stuck myself to the toothpick. Problem with crazy glue is people overdo it, just like me. All right, drop it back away from the guitar. Nobody gets hurt. Now we dance. Didn't take too long to solidify, so let's pull off that tape, clean it up, and see what we're dealing with here. Because if it ain't gonna work, best find out right now. Whoa. Major. Yeah. I don't think that's gonna work. Oh, it didn't work. Alright, so what do we do now? Let's go at it again while it's fresh in our minds. Let's check this and see if we're going to be, yeah, taking it off too. Starting fresh with that one. Don't be like me, Billy. I ever have that feeling everything's gonna go sour real soon. Yeah. I don't know when to say when. I've come close enough. We're gonna let this dry, see what happens. This might have to dry overnight. They say only half an hour, but don't know if I'm going to be able to get back at it yet today. So stand by. So we've reinforced the masking around this nut. Got out ourselves a little file, and we're just going to like smooth off the outer level, because there's a lot of really big stuff hanging up. So, but we want to leave what's in the grooves, so we want to be very careful to just sand off what isn't what we want to be nut. So we're just doing the flat edges. You can tell the discoloration between the nut and the glue, so just go until you can see all nut. Now I have just a slight little groove where each string is going to actually make contact. Just enough so that, as I say, the string sits in it, so we can know exactly where it's going to be. Well, good morning. I know, got to get some new recording equipment. It was at that point that I finished off everything I had to do for the day and went to edit things last night and found out that I'd stopped recording at that point. So here's the gist of it. We started out with this nut, which has been cut too deep in the center 2 and, well, center 3 grooves were just too deep. All right, the center 4 were too deep. Anyways, we did all that. We did the cut nut, filled it up, glued, sanded it all down, got those original straight grooves that held the string in place, and then we slowly tried to saw down to the proper height, which was going to be, we took the straight edge and put it, well, let's take a close up. So once we got the nut filled in and those grooves, the initial grooves, just so that each string would sit in that specific spot before we started sawing down into it, we take a straight edge and a feeler gauge, put the straight edge on the first 2 frets and put it up against the nut. So you have the distance there should be the same over here. Then you take a feeler gauge. We feeled and feeled until we got to the 0.030, and it would just slide underneath. So we know that these here are about 0.30 deep. Actually, they're bigger than that, but the fretboard comes up a bit at this point. So what we want to do is have these grooves cut down the 0.30, but above that, so that the string does not contact these other frets, basically. So we want to cut the nut slots, let's say 0.37. I don't know. It doesn't matter much because we'd just be eyeballing it anyways, and we did. So we went and started grooving them out. The largest two glue spots popped out. Either way, when we finished it off, this is what we ended up with. So the wider two, the two on the left, or your left, are back the same they were before. Then these other ones are, well, acceptable where they are. So let's put the strings back on this, bring it to tension, and check the height at the 12th fret, because that's what I ended up doing. I ended up looking at the height there, and it was about 2.5 or so, so I knew I wanted to come down roughly about 0.5 millimeter, which would have meant taking out a whole millimeter, but that wasn't right. So I had to just kind of feel it out, cut a little bit, put it back together, cut it a little bit, put it back together, and that's what we ended up with. So now that it's back in tune, yes, that's my tuning, D, G, C, F, A, D. But anyways, back to the problem at hand. Now with that nut the way it is now, at the 12th we have 2 millimeters, 1.75, 2, 2, 2, 2. So 2, 175, 2, 2, 2, 2. All right, that's okay with me. If we really feel like it, what we can do is just take this out and try and drag the saw across it a little bit. I'd like to get them all down around 175, but the bottom two don't have any glue in them anymore. The top ones do, but they're, I guess, acceptable. The two skinny ones are just sunk. The third and fourth are pretty much, third one is almost level. Fourth one's sticking up pretty good. The other two are below grade, which really should be brought up, but with them being at 2 and 1.75, I think I'm probably just going to leave it there. So I think we got it. No vibration, no rubbing, no sound. We got 2 millimeters, 1.75, 2, 2, 2, 2. So it's a little high for what I like, but I'm going to leave it at that point just now. Next time more on sanding down the nut. I think I've got it down about as low as I want it to go, because it seems to sit about maybe 1mm to 1.5 millimeters above the old one. The old one was a replacement, it's obvious to me now, but we need to find the math of the radius that we need to sand into the top, which should bring the sides of this down to meet roughly where that is now, which is in the area. So we're going to have to find the angle here and then the depth and get the actual nut slot files to do it properly. So that's probably going to take a little while. I can use this again now for the next little while, and it's as good as it's going to be for now. Thanks for watching. Please share, like, subscribe, leave a comment below. I'm going to try and get the editing down a little better on this. Some of that was kind of a long drawn out process. Check out the other videos on my channel. There might be something there that you enjoyed back when I knew how to edit. Anyways, thanks for watching. Catch you next time. Bye now. Not bad for a 1985 FG420-L with passive pickups.